Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Virtue Gaming Live. I am number 2 Ginger, joined by the Mac. Tonight, we have week 3 of Aegis Defenders League VG Unity versus Predictive Gaming Anubis. Mac, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. I'm pretty excited to be casting these games. I've been having a quick gander at these teams, and I'm interested to see how these lineups fare against each other. Aren't VG Unity playing for the their placement pick to get them like forward into the next section? They're playing for uh like the definitive 2-1 here. Well, they're the decisive win that puts them in the playoff contenders, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, both teams are looking to get some wins this week. Still third week, so start early. Hard to say if either team is out of it or really front runners, but Unity coming in at 1-1 after a rough week 1. They bounced back in week 2. PGA looking at 0-2, so they are looking to bounce back themselves and making a run for playoffs. For those that aren't aware, it's a group of 8. Bottom 2 teams are out. Teams 3 through 6 play in a play-in bracket, and teams 1 and 2 get a bye into the playoffs. So still plenty of time for any team really to get in it.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty excited to see how these teams play. What do you expect to come out of these games? What have you been having a look at the lineup? Who do you think's got the strong lead here? You expecting anything from either of these teams?
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot out of Unity personally. I've watched them grow a lot, and I think they've gotten better and better as a team. PGA, I expect them to come out with a vengeance. They're, when you're an 0-2 team, you generally are always looking for that first win to kind of get you guys going. So I'm really excited for them, hopefully, to make something happen. They do have their starting jungler in the lineup, Snow 2. The past 2 weeks, they've been using Fully Anointed, their sub, so I'm excited to see if he can make a significant impact. But draft is starting, so we're going to transition over quickly, and some bans have already came out.
The Gwen ban coming out here from the side of VGU, isn't that shocking? VGU and PGA seem to be like contesting for their picks here. A lot of them seem to overlap in terms of what they want. Both top laners have like a strong pick on that Gwen. It's a good flex pick for that jungler too, so banning it out here isn't quite a shock. The Xin Zhao pick ban coming out on the side of PGA as well. Strong, pretty safe jungler, like a master of everything, like jack of all trades. Camille ban coming out from the side of PGA here. Unsurprising, a wild Terry, Virtue Gaming Unity's top laner, is a very strong Camille main, so the ban isn't too shocking. And the ban on Thresh coming out from the side of VGU to ban away that Thresh from Bakip, because that is one of his strong picks. The Karma pick here coming in from PGA. Interesting. Generally Bakip likes playing these kind of Warden picks to keep his carry safe. Bot lane generally likes to play something like Jinx and Aphelios, so I was expecting something like a Lulu here, so the Karma may be giving a bit more teamfight utility here. Hovering the Zeri pick on the side of BGU, and it's going to be locked in, so as I'm sure most of you have experienced in your solo queue games, Zeri's a very overwhelming ADC right now. She's basically self-sufficient, and it's going to be a very strong pick for VGU here. Gives them a lot of strength in this bot lane. Also a really good pick against Karma, an anti-shield character. So she's able to like kind of punish this heavy shield bot gameplay style late game. So I'm interested to see what picks around that. The Nautilus for the strong engage with Zeri. Maybe looking to be a bit of an oppressive like bot lane here, punishing these like strong hyper carry picks like Jinx and Aphelios, stopping them from scaling out this early game, pushing them into like a chokehold so they can get that lead advantage and kind of stall that win condition on the side of PGA here.
Yeah, PGA going to look to answer immediately over with the Jhin as a response to that scary lane from VGU. Jhin Karma, a nice weak side lane that can get a bunch of damage in and eventually let Karma move around the map pretty well. And Graves also going to be that lock-in for that V3 pick. A nice flex pick we've seen recently, a lot in the top lane, also can move into the jungle. And you can say with the say the same with Karma, they could potentially move that in the mid lane, especially with the resurgence of enchanters ever since LS on C9 has started consistently picking it. But VGU hovering that Diana, which is most likely going to go into the jungle to finalize the first half of the draft.
So I'm expecting to see some bans come out from the side of VGU here, trying to maybe like push away those mid laners. PGA generally has its win condition playing around Dragon Slayer, that really strong mid laner. So I'm expecting to see some picks like Yone Go, Corki, Victor, these strong hyper carries that are going to like really enable PGA in these team fights. I definitely would expect to see the ban on the Yone here coming through on the side of VGU as predicted. Corki is going to be really interesting here because both mid laners have been shown in previous games throughout the tournament to play Corki and get results. Corki is a pretty good spot in the meta here and generally slots very nicely into a lot of teams. So wondering if they're going to try and pick that up. The ban on the Aurelia trying to answer the Corki, maybe trying to solidify themselves as having that Corki for the play, having that Corki for themselves, trying to play around that here. Aurelia also just a generally pretty strong mid lane unit at the moment, pretty safe lane phase, punishes any missteps from the side of PGA, so they don't want to have to deal with that. And the Victor ban coming out from VGU trying to really lock away Dragon Slayer's pigs here, so really forcing that bot lane to try and scale. Obviously not great since you've got that weak side bot lane as well, so it's kind of applying even more pressure, trying to push away their win condition like as late as possible into the game so that VGU can just take what's theirs during early, kind of force them to play, you know, to their tempo. As you can see, VGU's got very strong draft right now, and banning away the Fiora on the side of PG.
Yeah, I think VG is going to look for a strong pick to ground out their comp here. I would expect maybe some sort of mage to be blinded here. A pretty safe pick. There's the Corki, as you were talking about. Always really safe in the mid lane. There is the chance that PGA goes with some sort of crazy assassin pick into Corki. That's, you know, more of the solo queue-esque counter pick. They could just match typically with the Orianna, with the Ryze, the Syndra. All of them kind of bully Corki in lane in the early game, get some prio, and then Corki scales a lot. But the Corki is going to be a big problem that PGA is going to have to figure out how to answer here in these two picks. I'm expecting some sort of hard engage, because right now at this point you have no way of stopping this Zeri, this Corki, from walking all over your team. Karma, Jhin, Graves, a lot of damage, very little CC. Tryndamere is going to be the lock-in. Okay, that's a bit spicy. We've been seeing a lot of Trynd lately. Most likely in the top lane, so you could assume that's going to be Grace jungle, but you know, you could even put the Tryndamere mid, and that probably just perma pushes Corki under tower, and very dive potential, so I'm liking the picks, but big lack of AP right now from PGA, so I'm curious what they're going to last pick here to maybe make up for that gap. And okay, I mean, it's just the draft right here. This Karthus, this is exciting.
I'm not sure who's going where and what's happening. Is Graves going top? Is he going mid? Is Tryndamere going mid or top? Who's jungle? Karthus jungle? I don't know what's going on. Either way, I'm really excited to see how this plays out because this is a very, very odd team comp, and I really, really, really want to see how it plays out in the actual game. Not sure about how it's going to answer into the side of VGU, but I suppose we'll have to see when we get into it. Gragas, yeah, really looking to play around these strong team fights. I assume that's going to be a Gragas top here. Now, there's the question, and I don't like asking it, but who do you think won the draft?
I mean, if I'm looking at two drafts, I'm looking at one team at one team's solo queue, and one team is playing competitive, and I think it's pretty easy to guess which is which. PGA just kind of has all damage, and if they start snowballing or get ahead, there's going to be no real way to stop the bleeding from VGU. Tryndamere and Karthus and Graves, all three of those champions just snowball insane, and there's no real way to stop them. I really like the Gragas answer into Tryndamere personally. I think that's a good lane to shut down Tryndamere and make him very hard to play and have a good gank angle. And you know, I think if VG gets even or ahead in the even or ahead by mid game, they're just kind of unstoppable. PJ is all squishy. Corki's gonna be one-shotting people with rockets. Diana's gonna be looking for a one-shot engage, and like I said, there's no CC to stop Zeri. So I'm really looking for PG to have a very proactive early game and look to snowball the game fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say PG may be looking for a really strong split push angle here. Tryndamere and Graves are just gonna be off doing their thing, forcing VGU to try and play away from these team fights and answer them in the side lanes so that they can get some pressure, like maybe looking for a casual 1-3-1 split towards this late game, like mid to late game. I think it's really chaotic, and as you said, it's very solo queue, but I feel like it's going to be really fun to watch if it's not a complete stomp. But it's going to be tough for PG. They've got to pull it off in this early game, and I'm not sure what angles they should really be taking here in order to, go grab it, take that early game, because pretty weak scaling options here.
I mean, you can just RNG it. You have Tryndamere, right? Just auto attack and hope you crit, and there you go. That's the game. Let's decide level 1.
Now, I love leaving things up to a dice roll, but this is very, very RNG. Tryndamere's a funny champion. I think he's very funny. it's pretty interesting to see him being played here. Obviously, Trinidad had that like brief kind of surge in esports play rate purely just to be an answer to like these carries, like these scaling carries in lane, just like smacking them in the face and then being an annoying split push presence top lane or whatever lane is required towards the late game. Also, Trinidad does kind of answer VGU's like burst heavy style, because you can't really burst down a Trinidad unless the guy forgets to press his R button, right? So maybe could be an answer to this really strong team fight comp if he does get jumped on. Can definitely shut down a couple of these units, Diana, Corki. Not sure how he's going to catch up to Zeri, mind you, when she's going 1,000 miles an hour during a team fight. Gragas, maybe she sees a man into oblivion. I'm interested to see how the Carthus pick goes. Maybe they're playing as anti-team fight as possible here with these picks, because this isn't even like a reasonable team fight. I don't even think they put up a fight in a team fight. It's a bit of a diff, but I'm interested to see how these like really clashing play styles like go up against each other.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if VG pulls the trigger too fast and they don't let Corki get the poke in and Zeri gets to start moving around. PG has the damage to just kind of melt the front line of VG if that Gragas and Nautilus isn't insanely tanky yet. But even then, you have the Diana coming in to follow up on the engage. You just have three such strong CC frontliners in the Nautilus, Gragas, and Diana coming at your frontline. And, you know, Tryndamere can survive it, you're right. But Karthus is not going to survive it. Graves is not going to survive it. And if Jin and Karma get caught in it, they're not going to survive it either. And, you know, this whole time you have Corki, who is able to self-peel really well, especially if he has package. Zeri is a champion. So I think we're in pretty heavy agreement here that VG has kind of the win in their sights, and it's really just going to be on them to execute. But like I said, I mean, PG with this Karthus tournament, these two champions are just so punishing that if you misplay and let them start snowballing, it can just feel like it's impossible to come back from.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just happy we're not seeing any roaming enchanters, to be honest, because I forget which team did it, but one of them tried doing it in a previous game, and I honestly do not want to see any like River Janners in my professional esports games. Thank you very much. It's funny, but it's a little annoying. Well, it's not even that strong in like organized play, I suppose, because it's definitely more of a solo queue thing. So I suppose PGA would probably pick that up, I guess, if they like the solo queue style.
Well, I think Unity did. They were the ones that actually played it in one game. I don't think it worked out that well, but you know, FlyQuest has done it and they won with it. So whatever. It's getting nerfed tomorrow, so count down to that.
Thank goodness. Zeri's already speedrun Rise to get her first mini rework that she's getting next patch. Trying to move her away from that kind of Bruiser build playstyle and force her onto that crit, which I'm happy with personally. I don't think ADCs should be building Bruiser items, and obviously there's that argument for build diversity, but you shouldn't shoehorn a character into a role. But when it gets as oppressive as Zeri, I feel like no one's going to be complaining at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, for sure. So, looks like game is going to hop into spectator delay. So we are going to be right back for game one of the night and take a few minutes break. Don't go anywhere. Game one of the night, VG Unity, Predictive Gaming, Anubis coming right at you.
do what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last fight. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy.
Welcome back, everyone, into the first game of the night. Predictive Gaming Anubis versus VG Unity. PGA on blue side, Unity on red side. We are coming at you with game one of the night. I am joined by the Mac once again. Mac, what are we looking for in this early game for game one?
I think we're looking for PG just not to crumble here. The tournament pick actually going mid as I predicted slightly in draft. The Karthus jungle looking to just slowly farm up rather than being there to match that lane. Graves top just being for that kind of safe lane phase that will scale you later on. It's definitely one of those situations where who's going where you don't know till we get into the game. But it's really just a full scaling thing on the side of PG. VG looking for as many picks early game as possible, trying to just be oppressive, push this win con back as much as possible, start looking for these objectives early on. It'll be hard for side of PG to contest, so we have to see how that pans out. Not looking for any early pressure here, but we're looking for a red side start on both ends here. We have vision control for VGU on the side of PG's jungle here on their blue, so they know where they're going to be starting, so they'll be able to play around that, hopefully.
Yeah, I think VG is going to be not very exciting in this early game. They don't really have any champion that does anything exciting. But I'm definitely looking for PGA to do something spicy. You have that Trinity we are going to be pushing in that Corky. Graves always is going to have some pressure. And I don't know if Karthus is going to do anything crazy but full clear, but I have seen many Karthuses just decide to int level 2 for a kill. So I'm excited. I'm hoping for something exciting to happen instead of just sitting here for 15 minutes waiting for team fights to start.
I mean, we did talk about it being a solo queue draft, and as I'm sure we all know, solo queue is very funny. So I want to see some funny solo queue action in my game right now. I'm totally down to see a Karthus run it down, but maybe a little bit of skirmishing going on the top lane.
Yeah, Terry taking an aggressive trade there. So I went for the body slam start, and once he uses that, Severe is not afraid to just go forward and auto attack him as much. Terry going for the tier start in that range versus melee matchup, a bit of a greedy start instead of going for the Doran's ring. So it's going to take a lot more harass than he would like, but he will be scaling a bit faster. So if he could survive that lane, it will work out for them. But already at a CS deficit.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see this snowball even further here. Karthus clearing turbo fast. Not sure what advancements he can make on the map after he gets these clears. Obviously, Diana's going to be able to look for these picks, but Karthus is kind of just going to have to pray that someone walks into him. Corky already getting some deep vision on the side of their jungle. Not actually warding, but just checking to see where they've started, which is confusing, considering they already knew where the starters. Guess just check if seeing they're doing for a full clear, setting up for a gank, etc, etc. Both opting to go for full clear.
Yeah, nice trade up in top lane here. Terry's going a bit aggressive with Severe. Severe dashes forward, and Terry's popping a little bit low. It has that damage reduction on that cast, so no worries there. He's out of potions, but under tower and with his passive, he isn't too afraid. Both junglers trading scuttles right now, top and bot. Both junglers want a full clear, but Snow 2 has a nice prio lane to play for in the top lane. Could think about a dive. Terry has a word in that tri-bush to sniff this out. We're going to have to see if they actually go for this one. But here comes Zohair in the mid lane as Dragon Slayer goes on Quality Player looking for the spin. Quality Player has to jump out there, and now the dive is coming out top lane. Terry looking for the outplay. Snow 2 is going to start tanking the tower. Eats one, eats two Qs. Severe is now tanking. Snow 2 going to take another one. No, he does not. Terry down to 1 HP. Can he survive? Still has the flash. Keep in mind, Snow 2 looking for the Skittles is not going to hit it. Going down to 1 HP from the minions, and now Zohair is here. 1 Q is going to do it. First blood over to Zohair on an ambitious dive from PGA.
That was a little messy, and quite frankly, I feel if they knew where the... Oh. Something from Quality Player, never mind. I was going to add that if they knew that Diana was coming up from the mid lane after chasing away that Dragon Slayer, maybe trying to tower dive there and suicide for the kill would have been the better option here for Snow 2. But dying where he did, not able to get anything. Maybe if he dies in the tower, forces Gragas back into Severe, able to pick something up there, but not the optimal int from Karthus there. Could have inted a little bit more strategically.
Yeah, absolute insane play from Terry there as well, saving his flash that whole time, dodging those Qs. He had no fear in the world of getting hit by the one, so bit of a mental gap as well, maybe.
Yeah, definitely trying to psych him out as much as possible. I feel like PJ is going into this knowing that they've got to struggle in this early game, try and survive as much as possible. The draft's already been hard for them, but it looks like PJ is going to make it even harder to play the game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
How are we going to do... Sorry, you going on?
I was going to say, unfortunately, for Terry, or for Terry that, or for Severe rather, Terry didn't get the kill. So Severe is still going to bully in this lane top side. Terry's not going to get any sort of advantage. We'll see if Zohair can maybe take that kill and put it somewhere else. But sorry for interrupting your point there.
I was going to add, this is basically free objective control on the side of VG here. Ooh, maybe looking for a play here mid. Never mind. It's free objective control for the side here on VG. Can't really contest this dragon take for PG here because obviously you've got already the side advantage here. So much team fight pressure early game. You aren't having these like matching picks. Karma's the closest thing you'll get on their side to a early game skirmisher, which doesn't generally bode well. A play coming down top lane maybe.
Yeah, Terry getting games to top lane actually goes aggressive on Snow 2 there. Ults him back into tower, but Snow 2 still has flash. Now Terry's in an awkward spot. Going to flash himself away from Severe's ultimate. He's going to survive off that one. Trading flashes with Snow 2 there, and is going to come out with his life.
But doesn't that show how important it was for Terry to save that flash under the tower earlier? Man absolutely dies there if he's forced to burn it, but expertly dodging earlier.
He could just like not go right into the Karthus in melee range.
I mean, yeah, that works, but it was ambitious and I liked it. That barrel could have set up nicely if Karthus was maybe running something like Exhaust. I see some Karthus running Smite Exhaust before. That was a free kill if he didn't have that flash. So maybe a little ballsy, but it almost pays off. And the dragon is taken for the side of VG there with that lovely distraction coming through top lane. So that is going to be an Ocean Drake. The next Drake coming up will be...
That's Hex Deck. If you can't see it, it's still bugged. It has been since preseason started. It is the Hex Deck Dragon.
Riot Games. After again. Yeah, Hex Deck Drake. I was going to say about Chemtech Drake, but that's not in the game anymore, is it?
Yeah, before I had to manually check. Now I just know.
Look at you, eh? Makes your job a whole lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of sad it's not a Hexgate Rift here. I really like seeing the Hex Rift. I think it's really engaging. It's probably the best Rift to come out of... the best thing to come out of preseason overall. Not a myriad of changes, but Hex Gates were definitely something fresh and interesting. So kind of a shame to not see that this game. But other than that, Rift Herald will be spawning soon, so maybe another objective here for VG to take away from the hands of PGA. No real objective contesting other than Graves here. Although Terry is kind of getting diffed here in the farm lead. He is about 20 CS down. That is that strength of the Graves pick. Just really safe farming, really strong pushing always. Pretty safe dueling potential, even though he's generally a scaling champ.
Oh, here comes the dive out mid. Dragonstar ghosting forward onto Quality Player. Quality Player's low on the HP bar, and that's going to be the ultra coming down from Snow 2 to get the finish. Dragon Slayer dashes away, and Zohair's not able to finish that. Looks like he's going to get away off of the blast plant, and that's just a clean 1v2 dive straight onto VG.
And that is the Tryndamere mid pick there for you, generally seen as an answer to these really strong scaling picks, punishing from the fact that they just can't get this angry man off them under their tower. That level 6 dive cheese coming through. It doesn't even matter that Zohair was there, because what can he do about it? He can't really get him off. And Snow 2 providing the damage there. The gold does go to the side of Snow 2 as well, which is really going to help this Karthus scale incredibly well. I want to see as much gold in the pocket of this hyper carry jungler. So really good team play there as well, being able to distribute that gold effectively.
Yeah, I mean, Quality Player was able to save Flash there, but so was Dragon Slayer. So that Requiem next time is off cooldown. I feel like they might be able to just do the same thing on repeat. And how does Quality Player really survive these constant dives from a Tryndamere? It's rough, and this was what I was saying pregame. I mean, I've played this matchup myself, and let me tell you, it's not that fun.
Can imagine. Kind of coming in on the emphasis of mid lane, as I expected. PGA's mid lane is generally their main carry for the team. Obviously, Anubis does come in and do the work, but Dragon Slayer is very consistent as a carry, and maybe looking for a play down here bot lane from Zohair, looking for a lane gank.
Yeah, Zohair doesn't have the Moonfall, so it's gonna be a bit hard.
It is about to come off cooldown. It's about to come off cooldown.
5 seconds. He's still not spotted out. Ichirat really wants to look for the hook, but it is a bit too close to the tower. Remember, all of PJ's bot laners have sums here, and they're right next to the tower. So it's going to have to be a perma CC. Here comes the ultimate out from Ichirat. Going to get the CC down. Is not looking for the hook. Decides not to take that. Exhaust was up along with Flash, so it would have spelled doom probably with Karthus pathing down as well. So a disciplined decision there from VG Unity.
Yeah, I see what the goal was there, but I feel like that's actually pretty bad for the side of VG Unity. Having this lane gank that doesn't really pay off means that Karthus is just getting more and more advantage across the map. This man is scaling. Shocked we haven't seen much counter jungling going from the side of VG here. Trying to shut down that Karthus, because you win the trades early. It's Diana. Karthus just has to hit the Skittles, and unfortunately for Snow 2, he's been going wide with a lot of his shots here. He's not tasting the rainbow anytime soon, so I'm shocked that Zohair hasn't really profited off of that as much as he could have. It's kind of sad for that bot lane there, especially with how far pushed they were.
You're going a bit aggressive on Terry here. There comes the cask and ult him away. Snow 2 is in the top lane here, maybe looking for the dive once again. Terry has his flash coming up just about now. I think he sniffs out the dives, goes for the body slam onto Severe. Severe's looking for the damage now, gets the dash and gets the ultimate, gets the kill. Snow 2 going to pick that up with one of his Skittles. But Quality Player's up here with the package, though. Here's up here as well. They might be looking for the clearing up. Here comes the package in onto Snow 2 in the middle of Severe, taking a lot of damage. Has to get out of there. Snow 2 nearly getting the kill. Quality Player with a well-placed Skittle there, and that's going to be the Requiem coming down. Is it enough to finish? It is not. Did not get the Dark Harbor stack either, as he already took it off Quality Player. So Requiem is going to be on a big cooldown there. Snow 2 has the Rift Herald. Is he going to drop it to finish off this tower? He's thinking about it. Dragon Slayer is here, and there it is. That's going to be first tower of the game going over to Predictive Gaming Anubis.
Now that is very big for PG here, because that is a massive gold lead. You've got the first turret down. All of that goes into the pocket of Karthus and Graves, just trying to get as much of an advantage as possible. I'm really impressed with the fact that they've able to really capitalize off the fact that this Graves is just diffing this Grag. It's so hard for him to play the game, and they're able to just pick up that tower for free essentially, and being able to take these objectives even though you're in this deficit state. Dragon Slayer putting the work in with this pressure. This man is just running at them, and there's nothing they can do about it. Being able to get this objective, but and they're going to pick up the Drake as well. That's pretty big. Not the objective control I was expecting. I was expecting a complete reversal of this, but PGA playing really, really well around this early game. I'm shocked.
There's a beautiful rotation by PGA there. They realized that since VG Unity sent all of their members up top to try to counter the dive on Terry, they really were never in position to do Dragons. And since PGA had first recall, they're like, let's go straight to Dragon off that. And now, they're taking away one of Unity's win cons. It's just these team fights forcing the Dragon. Now Soul is so delayed, and VG really wanted that fight. You have Arch already on that Triforce. Quality Player about to finish stacking his Miramana already at 13 minutes. And Zohair has that full Nashers. You just have massive item advantages, and you're not able to use it. I mean, it's just a win all around from PGA right now.
I think that kind of shows the strength of this Karma pick as well. Really strong disengage with her Mantra Inspire. Nautilus can't really get the pick here. Jin obviously like playing fairly safe as well. The weak side bot is able to kind of handle itself here. But I would genuinely thought we'd see a bit more skirmishing going down bot. But it's very well played by PGA that they've not given them the angle, because BG really seems like a team that if you give them an inch, he'll take a mile. But seems like PGA is the one that's going fishing right now for any lead they can.
Yeah, and you got the wild card of Snow2 in this game. We haven't seen him yet this season. He's a support main, but he is a master level player, and I feel like he's starting to pay off. He has his special Karthus pick. He's 2-1. The ultimates have been nice. The coordination have been nice. As Zohair is engaging on the top lane, Severe, but Snow2 is here for the counter. Does he have enough damage to do this? Severe is going down low. Can Zohair finish? The Cask is going to finish the Zohair. Flash forward to try to finish it off when he was already dead. Now Wild Terry is in a 1v1 with Snow2. I don't know if he has the damage, as Snow2 is so strong with that full Ludens and Sword Shoes already. Terry with a nice stun gets his Bob canceled. Terry flashes forward, but he's not able to finish him off. The flash was a bit ambitious there. Dragon Slayer is now here to finish off Wild Terry. Poor fat man caught in between a ghost and a guy with a big sword. He's going to try to walk it out. Still walking it out. Dragon Slayer is eventually going to take that one down. In the meantime, Quality Player is pushing down the mid lane, but a nice play from the side of Predictive Gaming Anubis there.
I think it's really interesting you were mentioning about Snow2 being a support main. I expected him to be on something very engage heavy, one of these like J4, Shinzao picks, but instead we see him on a carry like Karthus. Maybe going up against his team fight, they realize, okay, we need to try and get as much damage and pressure as we can. Let's put our best player.
Zohair getting dove here from Dragon Slayer straight up, and that's going to be a double kill. Snow2 actually took down a Quality Player in the mid lane, as well as using and getting engaged on Severe, and now Curtain Call's coming down on the bot side from Butternub's. Not going to take out Arch or Itchy Rat, but it is going to force them out of lane, and VG Unity is getting torn apart right now across the map.
That's exactly what I said. This Karthus is putting in the work. Having this really strong, reliable player, able to really wield Karthus well, because you don't really see that. You see Karthus pigs trying to get as much of a lead as possible, trying to be like these super safe farming thing, but this Karthus has been really proactive in trying to pick up these kills. Quite a few of them picked up by the Requiem, mind you, and the team kind of like delivering them on a silver platter, getting them nice and low so he can scoop them up. But he's been putting the work in with these engages rather than just AFK farming for the entire game, which is quite surprising.
Yeah, I really want to shout out Snow2 as well on his build choice here. Going for the Luden's Echo when he's solo AP is generally always correct, and something a lot of coaches on Twitter talk about, as most Karthus is just default into the Leandries. So very wise on his build path as well here. And Severe in the top lane, going to Hullbreaker first on Graves. How do you feel about that?
Now, I actually played against the Hullbreaker Graves today. The Hullbreaker rush on Graves gives him this really strong split push pressure, makes it really hard for you to compete with the game. He's already a really good duelist in the top lane. This kind of just makes him even more of an oppressive threat, obviously stacking with his grit passive, making him basically unkillable in these like kind of shut down skirmishes. He's obviously got that excellent wave clear, being able to have this massive minion wave stat behind him. You're basically turning this gunman into a Yorick over here. He doesn't really need
double
the
TP getting on bot lane there, actually. Dragon Slayer wasn't expecting that. It was with the package as well. Pops the ultimate. King Quality Player kite out of this. Dragon Slayer has the flash. He's going to be dashing away, but right into Zohair's awaiting arms. And while Terry actually ends up with the kill there, that's not who you wanted the kill on, but you take the kill.
An ambitious body slam there. Maybe could have let the Diana pick that one up there, or the Corki, but I don't think there was any need to take that, to be honest. Maybe a bit of a slight misplay. That Rift Herald is going to come down top lane. The Hullbreaker inactive, but it doesn't really matter because they're probably going to get this inhibitor now with that Rift Maker. My goodness. A Rift Herald, sorry. As you can see, the two recalls instantly from the bot lane on the side of VG. Not going to get the tower, though. Not enough for
this is good for VG. They're getting objective bounty tower bot. They're going to get objective bounty dragon here as well. That I don't think that Rift Herald was optimal. This is going to be so much gold and extra XP over to VG. And, now they have the potential to snowball these dragons. It's Mountain Soul. It's not bad to stack. I think that was a bit of a misplay there from PGA.
Yeah. A lot of things invested into the top lane. The Rift Herald deployed down, but I don't know why they didn't commit to taking it if they knew they were giving up this objective pressure. The cowardly back off didn't seem like the smart play. They probably could have taken the fight against the Gragas there, the tower is low enough to at least have the inhib open.
VG now searching in the bot lane for Dragon Slayer. Is going to find him, but yes, Full Sums does not have the ultimate up yet there, so he's going to actually go down here. He Gale Forces flashes away, but right into Itchy Ratch's hand as Quality Player gets him with the last rocket, and a nice pickup there. Now going forward onto Snow 2, going to get ulted. Itchy Rat going forward with the CC. There comes the flash forward from Quality Player, try to finish him off. Is going to get, but Curtain Call comes out, and Severe is here. Severe is doing so much damage. The Requiem comes out from Snow 2 to annihilate all of VG Unity. They got the initial pick, but there's just so much follow-up damage from the 7 and 2 Karthus now with a full Shadow Flame building into that Void Staff.
It looked really good on the side of VG for a second there. They had this really strong team fight engagement, managed to get that pick. It looked like PJ were mispositioning here, but able to just profit off of Karthus being an absolute monster. It doesn't matter if you pick him off. He's got that damage coming out. That Requiem is putting in the work now with the amount of items that he has. It's a genuine strong threat. The team doesn't even have to really finish him off. They just need to will him down and let Death do all the work, basically. So I'm really impressed. On the side of PGA here, looking very weak in the draft, but being able to profit off of this very wacky gameplay style. I'm a big fan of how this is going, not quite as expected.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the side of VGC, like, it feels so bad to itemize right now because you want to build MR. This Karthus is one-shotting you. You know, if you're Corki, you want to get a Hex Drinker, but also at that point you have a Fed Graves and not even a Fed Trinimir just jumping on you and insta-killing you because you don't have any armor. So, you know, Quality Player going for the best of both worlds with the shield bow, but you really, really want a Ludens this game to get that poke off, and it just... I think this game went as good for PGA as it could so far, and even though I think Karthus is... The Void Staff build isn't correct since no one's building MR, he's still just going to absolutely annihilate everyone.
Yeah,
oh no, right as I said, the Quality Player runs right into Dragon Slayer. He does not have flash. He's going for the Blast Gun. He's going to get the Immortal Shield Ball, keeps him alive a little bit, but Dragon Slayer is going to get the dash right back up. He doesn't actually go straight over the wall. Now Snow 2 is here, and all of Unity is here. It's a really awkward situation for Quality Player. He has no flash. He's stuck in pit. He hits the Baron. Quality Player's going to go to the Baron. That's disrespect right there from Snow 2 to finish him off with the Baron. A nice play. Also, just great awareness from Snow 2 to realize he could do that and walk away. Feels really bad for Quality Player, but nicely played.
Interesting positioning from the side of VG. They're obviously trying to be able to back up their player, but in the end choosing to sacrifice him, knowing they don't have that team fight advantage. They had the deep vision inside enemy jungle, were able to see that the team that was ready there to jump on them if they did try and match the Karthus there. Don't have that winning team fight without the Gragas there. Trying to soak as much damage as possible. They're just not ahead enough to profit, unfortunately. And as you said earlier, this game is going as well for PGA.
Ping's coming down on Itchy Rat all over the map here, and here comes the collapse onto him. He does not have flash. Dragon Slayer pops the ghost, and that's going to be Itchy Rat getting popped. The little rat getting squished, and that is going to be the support going down. Another pickup for PGA.
A very cocky play from the side of Itchy Rat here, overextending to try and get this vision down, but you don't have this prio. You aren't strong enough to get away from these people. They're blocking you down. Now, I did say that we should expect a split here, like an overall like a 1-3-1 style split, and whilst we are seeing Severe put in like the split here, the team's playing a lot more together than I expected, and they're profiting really well off that. They are able to get these picks off of each other, get more and more gold funneled into this Karthus carry. And they're able to just profit overall off of being able to take VG's like missteps and just grab them. Not playing as much of a team as I thought VG would. Not playing around that full team of 5. Having forced to have much the Graves and the bot side. So kind of fractured slightly and unable to try and find these picks and leads that they need to get back on their feet.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we liked VG Unity's draft, like, the clear weakness was exploited is that Unity really never drafted a winning lane here. I wouldn't call Corki and Trinimir winning. Gragas is a weak side lane, and Zeri's biggest weakness is her laning phase. She's weak laning, so
Absolutely.
I think, you know, when you pick Zeri, you have to be looking for that counter pick strong side top, and I think PJ did a fantastic job of just playing towards Severe. Even if it didn't go super well, Severe just had a great lead this entire game, and it looks like PJ is actually starting up Baron on the top side here. They're going to trade it for the Dragon. This is a fantastic call by PJ that, you know, VG Unity might be aware of and just can't do anything about. They're going to take the Dragon for themselves, but objective bounties aren't on the map anymore, so it's just going to be a great Dragon Slayer. Tried to take it there with the Gale Force, was not going to get it. Actually going to go down pretty low to Quality Player. I'm going to have to back out, burn the Undying Rage, but Baron picked up for Predictive Gaming Anubis.
Dragon Slayer lives, which is very, very bad for the side of VG. You now have a Baron empowered Tryndamere, putting even more split push pressure on your lane. And you're right about the drafting. Severe and Dragon Slayer, excellent picks here on the Graves and Tryndamere, really matching these weak lanes, punishing them, and then just splitting the map. So even when they are strong, they can't play around this heavy team fight draft that we've stated. Maybe looking.
Oh, Death Bush, maybe? Awkward a little
They
bit.
have no
There's a
vision,
flash
they
over from
didn't know.
Ichira, going for the play onto B-Kip. B-Kip gonna go down. The ultimate comes in. Zohair misses. The Moonfall is not gonna get a kill there. Here comes the curtain call. I don't know if it's gonna be enough damage to take down Zohair, as Ichirat's gonna stand in front of him and make sure you can walk on. Well, that one out. A blind kill. Zohair's going down so low here, though. Gets the heal out from Arch to live from the Requiem. That Requiem did nearly half his HP. Arch nearly gets rooted up there from Butternubs. They're going to have to back this one up, as Predictive Gaming Anubis is looking to push down now with the Baron onto the tower. Arch is be able to clear the wave, but I don't think PJ cares. Okay, they care a little bit as they're starting to back out. This turret is hurting. Remember, they are a bit squishy. Going to back out, and that is just B-Kip going down.
Could have been a really big play because they were stood there waiting as if they had vision, but what we didn't point out is they have no vision there. If they had the vision, they would have known when to collapse, and it's just unlucky. The fact they even managed to pick, like,
oh, here comes the engage from Wild Terry. It's going to be synergized with Ichira out to the hook, and that's a shutdown onto Snow 2. He was able to take up Ichira in return, though, with the little Skittles. A nice trade there, but it's a big shutdown going over to VGU, and Snow 2 doesn't have Requiem, so no more kills are going to come in.
Well, it's better than nothing. Being able to pick off Snow 2 there is really good. Snow 2 definitely playing a little bit too aggro there. The really, really nice hook from Ichirat, kind of weaving it between the tower there, threading the needle exactly as it needed to land. But now you've got to deal with the split push Graves and Tryndamere that is going to take your entire base out. The Baron buff not having too much longer on it, I presume. So hopefully shouldn't be too much of a threat. Can't get too much mileage out of that, but yeah, generally PJ has this lead, and VG's trying to find these straws to grasp at, but not able to find a full team fight here, which is exactly what they need to be able to, like, you know, win the game here. They need this really strong team fight, and they're behind. They're really, really behind. I think Grace is getting close to flame horizoning this Gragas, because this Gragas just can't farm. He's not able to match. He has to keep moving to try and match these splitting side push lanes, and then running back to his team to try and apply that pressure of, I'm here, I'm a tank, I'll CC them, don't worry guys, I'll get them off you. But it's just not enough. It's not enough because PGA seems to be all over the map. It's kind of their rift now. Even their jungle is completely taken over on the bot side with wards, but Terry's sitting in the bush.
Not gonna be able to find the kill here. Gets a little bop and scares him away a bit. But I mean, yeah, you're completely right. VG Unity is in a very, very awkward spot. You know, at this point, they're probably just looking for the 3-item spikes. You know, the bright side of the draft is they scale like maniacs. Corki, Zeri, and Diana all are about halfway, maybe a little bit less to a 3rd item. So they have a long way to go. Dragon spawning in a minute 30. That is soul for VG Unity, but you know, I don't think there's any way PGA gives this over if they are, you know, playing anywhere sort of decently. So, you know, it's really now on PGA just to find a way to kind of accelerate the game and end, because you don't want VG Unity to stall the game and scale.
VG can't even safely get Drake here.
So here got the blue buff.
The steal. Very, very nice. As I was saying, they can't even safely take the Drake here because you have this split push pressure from not one but 2 players on the side of PGA here. So even if you want to take your full comp down to this team fight and try and get this Drake, get this soul secured, you're probably going to have your inhibitor gone to this madman running it down your bot lane, taking your towers, or the Graves split pushing that top lane. So it's kind of puts them in a tight spot here. They have to play around the tempo of PGA here. VG is in a very, very tough spot, and I'm not quite sure what they can do other than wait and pray for this item power spike.
Yeah, I mean, look at the level of energy even for the side of PGA too. You have Severe already 16, Dragon Slayer and Snow 2 about to hit 16 themselves. How do you deal with a level 3 Requiem when your carries are still 14, 15, and 13 respectively? It's just going to be such a... The difference in levels alone, it makes the fight so hard. And it looks like VG is actually going to push, or considering at least pushing into the bot side. Quality Player might be backing for package here and looking for the TP. I don't think they should contest this, but I mean, if they want to, it'll be exciting at least. Severe pushing in the top side, pressuring, and that is just gonna be Dragon going over to PGA, not taking any risks, not trying to force the fight there, and immediately pings onto the bot lane are coming in as VGU is pushing into the mid lane, trying to collapse onto Severe. Nice package coming out from Quality Player, nearly gets popped from Severe here, and now Wild Terry is frontlining. Immorshielable is going to come out. Severe looking for a trade back, but Wild Terry blocking the damage beautifully as Requiem's going to come out. I think that's enough to take down Quality Player. It is. Archos is almost all his HP instantly. Severe's going to try to trade back. Archos welding is down to 1 HP, but a shutdown going over to Zeri. Now here comes in the bot lane, pushing in. PGA looking to punish, and they are going to get the inhibitor. They're not going to push for more. It's a 4v4. Requiem is down, so they take what they can get, but beautifully played by PGA to make the most out of what's effectively a 1v3 there on the top side.
Yeah, that was scary. That Graves was just a monster. Obviously, Quality Player trying to like dodge and weave between the Gragas they're using his voluptuous body as kind of a shield for him there, but even then almost dies. The Requiem able to pick him up, but I think even if the Requiem hadn't come through, he still dies there eventually. That Graves was a monster. Arch taking half his health bar from one Requiem, almost getting him killed, hanging on by a thread of life after that fight. That was scary. But I think it really shows how much map-wide pressure here that PGA is able to have with these split pushing lanes in this Karthus Requiem, because even if you have these fights taken on by the side of PGA, you still have this kind of 2v whatever situation, because the Karthus still has that Requiem pressure, no?
Yeah, Baron's on the map now, and PGA is pressuring Requiem about 3/4 of the way off cooldown, so that's going to come out soon. Everyone's 16 for the side of PGA. That is important at least. So looks like PGA is going to set up to try to force this Baron. We do see Severe pushing in that bot lane. VGU does not see him yet, but when they do, he's going to be real close to that base, and someone's going to have to mash him. Can Terry do it and hold him off for long enough? He has so much armor stacked, but he just doesn't have the damage to match a lifesteal and Hullbreaker from Severe. So as soon as he shows, and there goes Quality Player into the bot lane, so they're sending Corki instead of Wild Terry here to match the Graves. So a lot of that gold in CS is going to be nice on that Corki, but they're not going to be able to fight because of that. Root comes down on to Wild Terry. That's so much damage so fast. Burden Ups does so much work. Dragon Slayer's now in the backline. Doesn't pop his ultimate. He gets popped. There comes the Requiem down. Wild Terry's going to survive. Gets the stun onto Button Ups. There goes the engage. The flash. The Root. Button Ups is still alive somehow, and he lives through all the damage. Here comes Arch 1v3 right now. TP into the fight from Quality Player. Severe TP'd in, and there goes he goes popped down to Snow 2, and Button Ups with a 1 HP. Here's Arch. This is the 2,000-year champion. Can he do it? Severe's behind him. Pops him out in the back, and that is the ace coming out from PGA.
Oh, that was messy. The Gragas engaged there on the Tryndamere of all things, but the Tryndamere not popping his ult at the same time. If he pops the ult there, he absolutely melts the two of them. It wasn't even close, to be honest. It was just more of a mechanical misplay from the side of PGA here, so I don't know what to make of that fight, to be honest. It was very, very messy, trying to grasp it like strings here, but the tapestry's falling apart for the side of VG.
PGA is not going for the end, even though they had super minions hitting the towers the whole time.
That's cocky. That's cocky. Maybe a little bit of disrespect as well. Kind of like we can end this later. Let's just go back and get some items. We want to pad our stats a little bit, you know.
That's definitely a either a miscall or disrespect. We're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's a miscall and they didn't realize. But they definitely could have ended there. So VGU gets another chance at glory.
Requiem is coming back off cooldown. Late game, that thing is basically up for every team fight. So you constantly have that entire team-wide pressure. Zeri being the last alive there, almost clean towers, but Severe's not taking a single bit of damage in that team fight. He didn't have that presence until the end. Maybe she overcharges 200 years, but they've been spotted up by a ward. You see the Tryndamere spinning over onto that Baron pit, but they know they've started, but what can they really do about it here?
Yeah, VGU knows this is happening. Remember, their base is triple inhib. They need to do this fast before the minions flood in. It looks like PGA is going to back up a little bit and let these minions start pushing in. Let the pressure come in as the Corki book's starting to do a lot of damage. TP now coming out from Wild Terry. PGA getting a bit low here on the backline, and VG is going to try to finish off this Baron as quick as they can. Look for the hook on Snow 2. Is not going to get it. Curtain Call comes out. Zohar trying to finish off the Baron. Is going to get a big objective bang, but now they're trapped in the Baron pit, and here is Severe, Itchy Rat, and Wild Terry putting their lives forward. That is going to be the kill on to Snow 2, but Requiem comes down, and all of VG is solo. Arch and Terry are in the backline. They are able to survive. Arch now going to 1v1 on Severe. Terry gets a CC down, but can Severe even die? He's so tanky with BK putting the shields in, but Arch is doing so much work. He might be able to clean this up himself. Stun comes out to Wild Terry. Butternubs is stepping up. He's able to take the shutdown onto Butternubs. So Dragon Slayer gets the flash kill, but Wild Terry takes down Zria the whole time. The base is dying. The base is dying. It's all dying to the minions that's going down. There's like 10 super minions on the base, and that is the game. Even though VG was able to make the fight even, you're triple inhibbed, and it just doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness. I feel like it was a little bit troll on the side of VG that Corki has the flash. Diana has the flash. They can get out of that pit. They can get themselves out of that really bad spot, try and go back like desperately and clear that wave. But at that point, I think they kind of knew it was coming to an end, and they just had to make that play eventually. And I think at that point, they kind of knew it was over. And, you know, that last-ditch attempt at proving, yeah, we can totally take this team fight. That's what this team comp was made for, but it's just not enough, really. Really, really, really well played on the side of PGA there.
Yeah, a really, that was the fight you kind of wanted to see, but you wanted them to kind of get there maybe like 5 to 6 minutes earlier, and they just couldn't because of how far behind they fell. But you saw the potential of the composition, and I felt like it felt pretty good the last fight. I just wish they weren't triple inhib, so maybe we could have seen a comeback.
Yeah. The drafting was shocking, but it worked. And obviously that wild card of Snow coming out, like really, really shocking. Didn't know how that was going to go. Obviously this support player proving that supports can do more than support. Really putting the work in there with that odd Karthus pick. And I'm honestly a really, really big fan of how that game went. That was a really, really interesting game.
Yeah, I mean, super well played to PGA, taking a comp that we didn't have faith in and making us believers. You know, we're going to have to see what VG Unity is going to do to be able to switch it up for Game 2. But we are going to take a quick break while we wait for the intermission to go through and both teams to take a breather, figure out what to do, and make some spicy plays happen in Game 2. But we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. VG Unity versus PGA coming right up. Welcome back, everyone, into Game 2 of the night, PGA versus VG Unity. I'm back at you, number 2 Ginger, with VMAC. Ready for Game 2, ready for another spicy game, ready for some excitement. Mac, what are you looking to maybe change up in this draft a bit, both teams?
PGA did a really interesting thing by just purely counter-picking what VGU did. VGU drafted 3 weak lanes, and PGA had absolutely no trouble punishing that. The Graves, one of the strongest top lane duelists in the game at the moment, being able to take that 1v1 when the Gwen is banned out. The Tryndamere being a really, really strong screw you to these slow scaling carry mid laners, being able to just lock them down and punish them early, snowballing off of that constant late game pressure as well. Unsurprising to see the ban come out from the side of VGU on that Tryndamere. Because it was just so oppressive, and I think that VGU should at least have one winning lane here. They need to have one winning lane to apply some pressure. I don't think the Gragas top was the play at all.
Yeah, definitely hard to find a pick in the Graves there if you don't have any like strong, confident, strong side carries. And you know, Terry's Camille was banned out. That would be normally his pick, I think. So you know, they struggled to find a pick there, and I think VGU will learn from that hopefully, and maybe draft some more proactive champions. Thresh is going to be the lock-in from PGA's first pick here. That has become a very, very, very common first pick, and opens up the likes of Jinx and Aphelios to play a lot safer from any super hard engage that Unity might open up here.
Additionally, this is also Bekip's strongest pick. He is known to be somewhat of a Thresh OTP, so getting this Thresh, this sort of thing that he's comfortable on, really opens that up. The Jinx pick coming in from... Never mind, we're getting the Zeri run it back again, trying to answer these scaling carries, I guess, trying to play for that late team fight, trying to get as much damage output as possible. That is probably going to be a weak side bot though, so maybe expecting a strong side top here to match any potential Graves that comes out, because Graves is not banned away. The Nautilus Zeri combo coming out again that we saw in the previous game didn't really have the engage pressure early that we may have expected from a pick like Nautilus, but that is a Jhin coming out with the Resh. Interesting, the Graves coming in from PGA. We saw how it performed in the previous game. Severe knows what he's doing. He knows how to duel with it. So I really want to see what VGU has to answer that, and whether or not they're going to take the top pick now or see what else they can pick, because I feel like they kind of have to pick this kind of counter matchup now before PGA gets the option to take away these possible options for the side of VGU.
Yeah, you know, I had a visible pain reaction when Nautilus was locked in again. Zeri's best support is Lulu, and will always be Enchanters. I don't know why you're picking hard engage with a Zeri. It just doesn't make sense. They don't synergize. Ask any player who's playing Zeri right now on the pro scene, they always want an Enchanter to help them pop off. So I think it's just 2 games in a row, big misintentions with the draft. The Lee Sin is going to be locked in 3rd pick for VGU here, so I like that. Instead of the Diana, it gives you a more proactive jungler to kind of carry the early game if you have some weaker lanes, instead of Diana, who just wants to kind of full clear and does the same thing Karthus does, but maybe a bit worse in those 2 team compositions. So not bad. Bans coming out. Corki from PGA, do not want to see that again. The poke is going to be brutal, and they don't have the Tryndamere counterpick anymore to deal with that. VGU getting rid of the Karthus and the Yone. They definitely do not want to see the Karthus again, and are going to force PGA to find another way to put AP on their team, maybe with a control mage in the mid.
It wouldn't shock me to see the Victor coming out on the side of PGA. Dragon Slayer is known to have that as one of his pocket picks, kind of, and Victor's pretty strong right now in the meta. Now, one thing to note, PGA does tend to play Summon Airy with their Victor rather than First Strike, which is kind of like for that aggressive like lane poke rather than playing to scale with that First Strike. Although I do think First Strike kind of just is better than Airy in every way for Victor, so we'll have to see if they do that again, if they do end up whipping out that Victor pick, and that Syndra pick maybe coming through on the side of PGU. It's hovered, so maybe an answer to that Victor being able to just match that strong magic damage burst, because Syndra will pop you in one go. Scaling incredibly well. Seems to be like a generally strong pick if they aren't having these other options open for them.
Yeah, I mean, Syndra, if you're following Proving Grounds at all, she is actually one of the most contested mids right now, slightly above Ori and Ryze. So not surprised to see that. And again, adds to the early game they were missing. Malzahar as the counter pick. I am a fan of that. You have 2 close melee champions with Nautilus and Lee Sin, and the ability to lock down Zeri is so valuable, and it's something I felt they were missing last game. So getting that lockdown right away and getting that extra AP in your team is going to be so nice. Granted, Mal's isn't going to be able to pop Zeri if she goes the tank build, so he will need some follow-up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I assume we'll be seeing the jungler here last from PGA. The Viego coming out. Okay, now you've got your carry. You've got your solid carry that will start snowballing during these team fights. But we start running into the issue of... well, I don't know, snowball, like, you have to snowball. Again, you're kind of running into that issue of you need to start snowballing again, like last game. Are PGA going to get as lucky as they were? Well, I wouldn't call it actually lucky, because I have to give credit to PGA. They played really, really well last game, took advantages wherever they could, but they need to make sure that they're able to do that again, and that is the Jax coming out to match the Graves top lane.
Yeah, I mean, VG kind of has the same thing top lane where they have a weak side counter pick to the Graves. Jax needs time to scale and is going to get pushed in. But they made up for that this time by having a proactive jungler and a proactive mid lane to play through rather than having no one to play through. Big fan of the pivot in draft here. And I think PGA had appropriate responses. You know, they're basically asking VG to come into them. They have the Malzahar, the Viego, and Graves all do great when VG has to jump into them. And, you know, VG has 3 melees here. I think, you know, maybe the best pick here would have been Jace to just keep the range up and keep, you know, that getting the poke through. Don't know if Terry necessarily has that in his pool. But regardless, the Jax is going to be a big split push threat that maybe PGA can't deal with if he's able to get ahead of the Graves.
I do believe that Terry has picked the Jax before during the tournament, so it's not too shocking to see him bring that out. I don't think he's played the Jace at all during the season.
Yeah, I haven't seen it for him, and it's a hard champion, right? You can't just like blind it.
Yeah, you can't just like, you know, whack it on when you want to, but Jax, you whack him with the funny stick and it's all sorted, right? So,
but who are you giving the draft to this game?
This is a tough one because, as you said, they're both really like smart picks. Obviously, VG kind of identifying its issues from last game and trying to mitigate that. PGA kind of sacrificing some of its really nice counter pick like cheese and being able to punish these weak lanes with something that gives them a bit more lockdown because they realized what the threats are going to be this game now that they're not able to kind of create that early pressure as strongly as they were before, not having that global pressure of Karthus. But you still have that hyper carry on the side of Viego, and as was proven last game, Snow2 knows what he's doing. The guy clearly showed his skills, so I'm expecting to see good things from the Viego, and to be honest, you don't even really need to like 1v9 the game on Viego here, because hey, if you even tap them with anything during a team fight, that's a free reset, and then you start snowballing, right, with those ult resets. And it could kind of spiral out of control for the side of VGU, so they're going to really need to play smart here with that early game. I think the early game is probably the most important thing for them, and the thing that I don't think they capitalized well enough last time. So we'll see, because PGA just isn't as strong in this early game, I don't think, as it was last game, because they don't have these, again, strong early lane cheese. They're not as safe as they were bot lane. Obviously, Thresh is still very, very strong. Karma was this you know, kind of like disengage pokey mage as you got with the mantra, being able to just like zoom your ADC to safety, and obviously Thresh has his lantern, but not being able to apply as much pressure down, maybe getting caught out more by the Nautilus. Again, the Nautilus is, as you said earlier, not the most ideal pick. Kind of shocked as well, because Ichirat has played Lulu quite a bit, and the guy knows how to play enchanters, but obviously he is more comfortable with the hook champs. He generally likes to engage and be aggressive, can play like a warden like Braum, but I'm kind of surprised that he didn't just bite the bullet and play an enchanter for the team, because I feel like that would open up a lot of avenues for these late game team fights, because Nautilus, no offense, wasn't really putting the work in last game.
Yeah, I have to agree. I definitely think the game is going to be played around topside again. I feel like neither team wants to play towards Zeri to carry. Jin and Zeri both just want to scale. So it's going to be coming down to this Graves Viego versus Lisa Jax 2v2. I mean, Malzahar is just going to push the wave and pop back. So Syndra might be able to get Prio and make it a 3v2 up on the top side. But really, eyes are all on the jungle matchup here. Snow2 versus Zohair. Who could outplay the other? Zohair has the initial priority advantage with the Lee Sin, but Viego's always looking for those counter ganks and looking for the plays to make if maybe they overcommit onto the Graves specifically. So eyes up there, but either way, looking for a banger again from both teams. We got quite an interesting game last game, and I think that kind of proves that even if either team falls behind, neither of them are going to go out without a fight. So looking forward to seeing some exciting action, but we are going to cut away for a few minutes while we wait for the spectator delay to kick in once again. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 of VG Unity versus PGA coming up in a few minutes. And welcome back, everyone, from that relatively short break. Game loaded in pretty instantly. We are back in for game 2 of the night. PGA up 1-0 against VG Unity, who voluntarily opted into red side this game as VG Unity looking for a cheeky invade up on the top side, maybe. Mac, what are we looking for in this early game? Things have changed up quite a bit in draft, and I'm excited to see what might change.
Well, as you said, I think we're looking for this strong kind of mid-pro on the side of quality player. That's what the Lee Sin pick is for, like the kind of like the more proactive gameplay. Than Diana doesn't have to wait till 6 to get any reliable like lockdown.
Oh, flash coming in from Itchy Route! Immediately out to Severe dashes away, has to flash. So here, hit the Sonic Wave. That's just going to be flash traded, but Itchy Rat does have that Hex Flash, and it doesn't look like PGA is reacting in the bot side for wards at all.
That's really worth. But I think Thresh is going to secure some vision control on the blue side for PGA, which is not too bad. Yeah, as we were talking about earlier, this Lee Sin pick, I like it. I really like it here. Really strong. But we need to see Zohair put in some early action because I feel like he wasn't doing that enough last game. Diana can counter jungle. She can put in this early pressure, but she wasn't even trying to step forward. And I think we need to see Zohair play a little more aggro in order to match the enemy here, because Snow 2 will be a force to be reckoned with if he is left untouched for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense now for Zohair to play towards that top side. You have a huge advantage on the 2v2 with Severe having no flash. And both junglers are going to be pathing up into that top side. So look around that 3-minute mark for maybe an exciting fight up there.
Yeah, and both teams have vision on each other's junglers. Ooh, Dragonflay going very low here.
Nice trades by quality player.
Thank you, directed camera. I got excited there for a second.
I'm sorry, I'm not paid enough to be the observer, producer, and play-by-play.
Ah, it's okay. You put in the work, brother. It's fine. It's fine. But maybe Sindra looking for, I would say, a flash play, but we don't have that electrocute to get that burst damage down early. But Viego is lurking around. He is kind of expecting something, clearing those Raptors. Lee Sin maybe foregoing Raptors completely to go to red and then gank top, trying to... ooh, Viego coming in from behind.
Yeah, here comes Snow 2 looking for the gank on Quality Player. Zohair isn't moving yet. A nice pushback from Quality. Still has the flash. Is going to flash away after Snow 2 flashes on top of him. Looking for maybe the kill on Dragon Slayer. Barely missed the orb there. That could have been close to the kill. So flash is traded from the mid and jungle.
Yeah, so, not bad. Good overall trade, but Dragon Slayer is playing with fire.
Oh, Dragon Slayer gets the
really
level
cocky.
up to make sure he survives
Wow.
there. And now Snow 2 is back here for the play. Good pathing from Quality Player to make sure he lives that. And now Zohair is going to run to Snow 2. He has no Snow 2 has no flash. Going to look for the fight. Gets the Sonic Wave. Not going to take it. Takes it now. Graze is coming down. Severe is here. Remember, he has no flash either. Quality Player looking to rotate in. Scuttle Fight goes over to the side of PGA. It looks like the stun misses from Quality Player. And now he's in a bit of an awkward spot with no flash. Severe dashes forward. Gets the orb. And that's going to be the shield. Now comes the flash away from Zohair in order to kill his teammate. Quality Player, while Terry is here, he's going to get the kill on Severe. Gets the stun onto Snow 2, flashes on him. Viego cannot transform back when he transforms at level 3. A nice Sonic Wave in from Zohair, and now Dragon Slayer's next target. He still has flash, but he's going to go down real low. Zohair looking for the Sonic Wave. Zohair is going to take the Space Aegis, is going to go down super low, and actually goes down. Now Wild Terry is diving. The Madman is going to go down as well. A double kill over to Dragon Slayer. Absolute madness in the early game.
Okay, this is funny. This is the game I wanted to see last game in the early game. That was... that was an early game play. That was an interesting dive there coming out from Wild Terry. I understand the logic there, but getting silenced before he can jump on to Dragon Slayer and finish him off.
He got hype. He got too hype.
I get it. The adrenaline, you can feel it. After getting that double kill, he really felt it. He wanted that triple. He wanted to make some more action happen, but unfortunately, he's now just given Malzahar a little bit of a bit more pressure in the mid lane. Ooh. Terry's insane. Terry's crazy. He's going nuts.
I mean, he has a Sheen and a longsword versus just an actual longsword on Severe, so look for Terry to maybe be a madman here.
I approve. Bot lane kind of playing very passive right now, but the Scuttle is picked up on for the side of...
Oh, Dragon Slayer in a bit of an awkward spot here. Zohair is behind him, misses the Sonic Wave instead of just dashing over the wall. Now Dragon Slayer is going aggressive on Quality Player. I don't think he has the damage to actually get the kill here. He has the red buff on him. I think Zohair would like to pick this up. Nice stun coming out from Quality Player. That's a shutdown going over to Zohair. Takes his red buff right back. Thank you very much. As now Wild Terry going aggressive on Severe is going to look for the stun, but gets stunned by Snow 2. A nice play to make sure Severe alive. So directed camera decides bot lane is more important. B-Kip getting hooked and gonna have to flash away. It looks like Terry somehow survived in the top lane. I really have no idea how, and we're not going to find out how. Unfortunately, we don't have replays here, and that is the end of the cross-map play.
A really good spectral maul there from Viego, managing to catch Jax right.
Oh, hook comes out right into Itchy Rat. That's going to be the CC chain coming out. Butternut's looking for the finish with the 4-shot. Gets Itchy Rat super low. Going to keep going forward. Arch trading back in. Butternuts doesn't have the damage to keep going forward. That's the power of the Nautilus.
They're just taking Drake while this all goes on under their noses. They had that crab control. That's basically the free Drake for the side of VG this early. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how Terry lived there. I guess Severe just didn't have the health to re-engage. Viego had already used his lockdown. He has his jump back up. He jumps his minions, gets away. Doesn't have to burn the flash. It's already on CD, etc., etc. So,
we're just never going to know. He's just too good. He's too good. That's it. Oh, another hook on Itchy Rat, though, from B-Kip. B-Kip landing these hooks, but Chin just doesn't have the damage early. It's a bit hypey for nothing as Zohair is now getting invaded into his jungle stun. Coming out from Quality Player. Has 6. Got a nice side of the week there. Dragon Slayer is waiting. Does not have 6 himself, so no lockdown coming out there and is able to get Zohair out of a bad situation as Snow 2 starting to get a bit aggressive and feeling himself a bit.
Terry trying to take the trade, but even though he's level 6, that is still a Graves. Viego coming in and pathing maybe to the top side, try and get something. So you're going to take that blue buff from Lee Sin here. It's so much action, but I feel like nothing's happening, you know? I feel like there's so many like intense things, but it's so early in the game, there's no like big explosive play. We got our explosive play right at the start, and Now we're kind of just cooling down, mentals resetting, getting back into the normal pace of the game. But there is a slight lead on the side of VG here, and it is looking like they are going to take the lead and run with it. Already getting that farm lead down, as we saw in the previous game from the side of bot lane. Syndra is just zoning Malzahar off of everything, but unfortunately those 2 kills from Terry and Zohair earlier allows them to just kind of keep up with Syndra's pressure. But if maybe that hadn't happened, maybe Quality plays a bit further ahead, maybe gets that early 1v1 kill. But overall, it's just not much happening right now. Vision control strong from the side of VG though, kind of around that mid, around that top, knowing that they have like the overall jungle control, ready to take that. Zohair lurking around and maybe looking for a play top side. You can see Quality players starting to path towards top, maybe looking for something. Not too sure yet.
Severe is a bit hard to gank. He's looking for an aggressive play on Terry. Ultimate comes out, but it's not going to be able to pop him down. Terry still has his corrupting potions and a biscuit. Looks like Zohair is looking in the top side now. Direct Kama, please. Thank you very much. Severe is now pretty extended here. Does have the flash to get out. Also has Phage for the extra move speed. Kick's going to come out from Zohair, and Sonic Wave lands. Gets a slow with the red smite, and there's Terry for the finish. A nice gank coming out in the top side.
As you said earlier, definitely playing around that 2v2 top side, and Severe is getting punished. He is not able to just safely trade every time like he was last game. Maybe he's looking for something bot lane.
Here comes the play on bot side. Arch is going to get rooted up, has to flash away, but that is Ichirat getting stunned up here. Has no flash, remember, so he's going to look for the hook away. Does not land it, but the kill goes over to B-Kip, unfortunately. Curtain Call comes out, looking to get Arch. Hits 3 of his first shots. 4th shot doesn't even matter, as the Heartbreaker comes out from Snow 2 to finish it off, as Quality Player looks for the solo kill in the mid lane, doesn't get it by inches.
It's unlucky for the side of VG there. Really, really nice play. They're really good hooks. Catch from the Deadly Flourish from Jin there, forces the flash out, but it's still not enough. Thresh taking the kill there from B-Kip, not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Gold does go down onto Viego. Viego has this lead, and that is a little bit scary, because even though you have Terry with this like slight lead in the top lane, although he's losing in farm, so one could argue that it's gold equivalent. That Viego is fed, and that Viego is the first.
Look at this top side right now. Ichirat getting a bit caught out from the Malzahar, has to flash away, and there comes the Heartbreaker over the wall. It's a 3v3 right now. Quality Player is here. 4v3, excuse me. And it looks like it's just going to be a kill picked up onto Ichirat, as both supports roam top side at the same time, and Riftchild's going to be started up from PGA.
Once again, we see that issue of Ichirat stepping a bit too far forward in territory that he thinks he should have control of with that ward, but there's too many people matching him. The really smart rotate from B-Kip there, knowing that he can't really do too much if he walks bot lane here to match the pressure. So he starts playing around that Rift Herald objective, getting that vision control, able to catch him out, able to punish Ichirat for misplaying and stepping forward. Maybe a bit too confident in this early game when you don't have that advantage here again.
Yeah, I mean, the big win con right now for VGU definitely has to be this Jax in the top lane. Like I said before, if no one can match this Jax, it's going to be an issue. Jax split pushing is just kind of unstoppable. Now, Severe is going the Hullbreaker first again, so he's just going to have that extra bonus in the side lane to help match it. But, I mean, we saw at Worlds last year that Jax was a traditional counterpick to that Graves, and we're kind of seeing why, as Terry is bopping Severe, but Snow 2 is up here to make sure that bop is not going too well. Terry's going to jump away, though, and get out of danger, it looks like. So, pretty hard to gank as well. Some trades coming down the mid lane, Zohair hovering, and nothing exciting happened. Dragon is spawned, and I think VG is going to go for this with Snow 2 up in the top lane. Might drop that Rift Herald and go for that first tower in a trade.
Picking up this Drake here gives VGU, even though they're quite far behind this soul point pressure, getting these 2 early Drakes obviously means that they can't stack up the Rift Drake, which is going to be Hex Rift. Okay, I like the Hex Gates, as I was talking about last game. But the Rift Herald being dropped top lane means that that is going to be first turret on the side of PGA. A lot of gold in that Graves' pocket to try and match that Jax, more going into the Viego as well. Again, Viego the first to complete the mythic item by a by a long shot, making him just a strong duelist, really strong pressure. Doesn't even matter if he gets the kill or not. He's just scary. He's a threat. He's lingering around that top lane.
Well, actually gonna get 2 towers. Wow.
My goodness, Lord of the Rings. Hello. What is this? We're watching some. We're watching just really good macro play here from the side of PGA. They understand all the tiny little missteps that VG is making, and they're just pulling at these like strings and tugging them apart. And there's not much that VG is doing to answer it around the rift. I don't see any plays happening bot lane. Mid is mid right now to say. Able to pick up the Drake. But it's just not going to be enough of a gold lead. 2 towers going. That is very rough from Terry, who did have that lead, but that is basically completely gone now. And you don't have that strong as win con as you did before, because now Grace is able to match that much easier. Quality player, maybe?
Dragon Slayer walking up a bit aggressively there, looking for an ulti on Quality Player. Quality Player spacing very nicely, knowing that he has Itchy Rat right behind him as Terry's going for an aggressive trade up top. Severe is doing a lot of damage towards him, but that counter-strike. Oh, flash coming from Severe. Remember, there's no tower for Wild Terry. He has to flash away from the ultimate coming out from Graves. Fortunately, going to survive that. Still does not have a shutdown anymore with all that gold going into the pocket of Severe. Severe already an item and a half compared to Terry, not having any items. Here comes the gank from Itchy Rat, but I don't know if you win this 1v2 at this point, my friend. Zohir is here as well, but it's still pretty rough. Severe does a lot of damage. He has the Hullbreaker in this 1v3 situation. Severe's just walking forward. He does not care. Does not dodge the Sonic Wave. Here comes the ultimate out from Itchy Rat. The Chain CC is going to start coming out here. Wild Terry is actually going to get down to 1 HP, but the Ignite comes out from Itchy Rat to stop any healing. The Counter-Strike comes out, and that is going to be Severe falling down.
Honestly, pretty good play from the side of VG. They're able to capitalize off of Severe feeling a little bit cocky. As we said earlier, Severe thinking he can take these trades that he was able to last game. Obviously, the Jax is that kind of natural counter pick. Even though Jax kind of got trod on a little bit there at the start, trying to go back in and get that Jax kill, very cocky. Could have probably just walked out, to be honest.
Zohair walking into the jungle, immediately gets ulted from Dragon Slayer into the Chain CC from Jin is going to go down. There's the reset going over now. Itchy Rat looking to fight. Arch pops the ultimate. Quality Player on the flank, but immediately gets Heartbreakered on. He has nowhere to go from Snow 2, but gets a nice blast plant placement as Wild Terry is here. He TP'd in. Snow 2 again taking the reset over from the Viego there, and is going to Heartbreaker right onto Arch. Arch is going to survive for a little bit, gets a dash over the wall, but it does not matter. Snow 2 gets the empowered auto in the 4th shot, takes that Quality Player over the wall. Wild Terry is now the last man standing. He gets a big shutdown actually onto Snow 2. That's a lot of gold into his favor. Dodges Jukes, but cannot dodge the last Malzahar ability, and is gonna go down. So much gold over to PGA with a 5,000 gold lead and a tower to boot.
That flash from Viego there was really smart to try and get that reset. Gives him so much dueling pressure there against the rest of the team.
Oh, Dragon Slayer actually getting caught out. He doesn't have flash. He's just going to get run down here, and he has a decent shutdown as well. It's going to go over to Zohair. Thank you very much for the greedy recall.
Guys, just standing still. He accepts his fate. A little disappointing he didn't try and struggle and squirm there a little bit. But alas, that fight really showed how strong this Viego pick is here. Reset after reset. So much pressure, so much CC, so much damage. The Heartbreaker reset over and over again means you can just keep locking people down. Arch tries desperately dashing away over the wall. Doesn't matter. Still have to deal with that Jin. The 4th shot executing that Quality Player. He didn't even see that coming. Just really well played team fight in this really locked down area. Dragon Slayer ult locking down Zohair before he can even do anything. Guys picked up before the fight's even started. So that pressure is gone on the side of PG. It's just really smart team fight play from PJ here.
Yeah, I mean, you look, the scoreboard doesn't look too bad, right? 11-8, and then you look closely, and 6 of those kills are on a Wild Terry. Whereas on the side of PGA, all those kills are spread out very nicely, and the one champion that doesn't have the kills, Graves 0-3, is still effectively even with the 6 and 2 Jacks because he got so much of that tower gold. So it's just so hard for VGU to actually find a good fight here as Quality Player is getting engaged on by Snow 2, is able to juke out the stun and the root from Jin there. Nice movement from the Syndra, but Dragon is going to be gifted right over to the side of PGA.
you can see that VG is pathing up to this Rift Herald, trying to claim that objective bounty, get it as fast as possible, but the question is whether or not they can burst it down in time. You can see that PGA is immediately moving up to try and contest this objective, so they need to move fast or try and fake it out and try and get something with a team fight here. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it in time, but they do know that that PGA is coming, choosing not to actually try and contest the Rift Herald, but instead get some lead mid, while Terry diving down onto Sivir here. But yeah, honestly, really smart from PGA to choose not to contest that. Obviously, they might have burst it down. There was a chance they took it off them, but being able to get that mid tower, getting half the damage down on the other one, but Team Fight's about to break out here.
Looking for the hook onto BKip, but he's going to get instantly blown up in a 1v4 situation. TP now coming out from Severe, and VGU is very split up. Quality players behind them, and it's kind of a sandwich, but you don't want to be outside the sandwich on this one, as it's just a rolling death ball from PGA that you cannot walk forward into. Now Zohair is on the flank as well. You have a multi-flank going on, and PGA just doesn't care. They're just so strong that you can't run into them. We were saying this pregame that it's just a rolling death ball that you cannot jump into. There's so much depth. A nice juke from Wild Terry onto BKip. BKip now looking to disengage. Quality player looking for the Sky to weak over the wall. Sonic Wave is going to miss. Now the offensive onto BKip from Wild Terry. He is the strong member. He gets the first kill onto BKip, looking for Snow 2, making sure he can't get the resets. He is going to go down, shut down over to Zohair. Dragon Slayer now caught in no man's land, or VGU aware of where he is. It doesn't look like he's recalling
the
in the middle
Hexgate coming
of
through
jungle, but there's the Hexgate plays. Squad player gonna get the flash shut down on to Buttered Up's a huge swinging gold over for VGU, as they're gonna drop Rift Herald as well and claim the top tower.
And that is exactly what I want to see on the side of VGU here, being able to use that strong team fight comp here to try and match the pressure that the Viego, being able to catch out the Viego at the start means that their big form of pressure is gone. They don't really have this really strong reset engage tool. Thresh being your only real engage after that. Malzahar, obviously, he is an ult bot, but he's not there to apply that pressure, and being able to just capitalize really, really well off of PJ getting very, very cocky there. It looked like a little bit of troll at the start when they were walking up to try and pincer them in, and it didn't play off, but I think that PJ overstayed their welcome, underestimating the fact that they can get burst down by Terry, can get burst down by that Syndra, who doesn't look like she's got that much of a lead, but does have a farm lead, does have like kind of those assists. Well, not that much, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. But she's not useless. She naturally scales the level because of her passive, meaning she is able to constantly dish out that damage. You saw she's able to just constantly apply pressure, maybe while Terry caught out, but able to jump away onto the ward there. And it's just really smart punishing from VG here. I thought they were misplaying a little bit, but they aren't making up for their mistakes just now.
Yeah, I mean, Snow 2 getting a little greedy on his build too, going for that Blade of the Ruined King second, so he is on the squishier side, and like you said, VGU has a lot of damage with this Syndra on the team. So much burst coming out. Even though Lee Sin only at 1.5 items, actually picking up the QSS tax now. Something we didn't even point out is that the Malzahar can get very well mitigated if QSSs are starting to be picked up. And Zohair going to be the first one to lead the train here. Wild Terry also picking up that Death Stance, so he is going to be very, very, very tough to kill with that damage mitigation. And, you know, when he gets one takedown, all that damage mitigation just gets kind of nullified. So it's not looking unwinnable for VGU here. They're putting up the good fight, and like we saw in game one, they're going to make it hard on PGA to really try to push their lead.
So Terry needs to snowball really well in these fights. Terry's kind of the Viego of this team, right? So obviously we know that he's comfortable on these hyper carry tops. This guy loves his Camille, he loves his Fiora, and the Jax is a pick he's comfortable with, and it's nice to be able to see him on a pick where he's able to make moves, because that Gragas last game did not feel comfortable for him. He was trying to take these trades. You saw these engages. He's running onto a Tryndamere like he is a Camille, but he's not. And in this game, he's strong. He can take these fights, and he's in a position where he can afford to take these really cocky duels and make a play of it.
Yeah, look at PGA here. They're grouped as 5 in the mid lane. Wild Terry on the side lane. Quality player also in the top lane. So PGA looking to maybe take a fight here. They want to push in vision for this 4th dragon of the game. Going to be another Hextech dragon, obviously spawning in 35 seconds. But right now, VGU have the control. Are PGA confident and strong enough to actually walk into VGU is the question. They have some control of this, but VGU is going to be spotted out. There's the flash in from Ichirat, hits a minion. Oh no! Ichirat's going to instantly go down on a nice hook from BKip, and now the re-engage. Snow 2 has the Nautilus. This is not what you want Viego to have. Gets the flash, but Zeri is a 200 years counter champion and dashes over the wall like she's Talon. So that's going to be a flash blown on Viego. but Ichirat going down is going to guarantee the dragon over for PGA.
Very completely zoned off by the Malzahar, by the way. Look at his health bar. That was one Malzahar combo. The guy is basically having to recall here because he was that chunked down. And whilst he's bought the death stance, that Malzahar is his main threat, playing very smartly. Dragon Slayer knows he's the issue, keeping him off the team. So even if there was an opportunity to turn there, he's just not in a healthy state to be able to do so. And oh, Ichirat, he's trying his best. I feel really bad because it's clear that he's trying to be the difference, make the plays, but it's just not working out for him, and his team just isn't strong enough to follow up on these. And when you whiff like that, it is very, very detrimental for that team fight. You've now given Viego your strong engage, because let's talk about Viego real quick. Viego basically has access to so many different movesets, and obviously they change per game. But as you can see, his options are really good. He's got the Lee Sin engage. He's got the Jax trading. He's got, speaking of Jax trading...
Yeah, Wild Terry looking a bit aggressive there, but Severe with that Shiobo and that Hullbreaker is just so hard to kill. And Wild Terry doesn't have too much damage yet, having that Death Stance stacking. He's looking more for a sustained fight. But I mean, as you said, Snow 2 getting engaged, there's just fights going on everywhere right now.
But yeah, Snowtube having all of these really strong engage tools, that Nautilus in particular. The issue with Nautilus dying at the start of these team fights, which has happened over and over again, is you've now given, even though Zeri's 200 years and she's got the funny rail grind across the wall, you've now given him not only the ult reset, but you've given him a repositioning tool with the hook. Even if he misses and goes wide on someone else, he closes the distance with this hook, and he's able to just ult onto the Zeri. Even if she dashes over the wall, he heartbreakers over, matches her presence, he's able to lock her down and get that constant reset. He'll always have that mobility pressure because the other team has so much mobility and lockdown on their side. So you're kind of giving Viego even more tools than he should have, if that makes sense. You're giving him even more pressure than he's already exerting.
Yeah, we're at that weird middling stage of this game where you feel like the macro is a bit lacking in this level, and both teams kind of don't know what to do. And we're just both pushing inside lanes and then walking away and then letting the other team get that and trade vision. And, you know, part of that is also due to PJ has the lead, but their comp doesn't do well with proactively pushing the lead as they're relying on VGU to come into them. And since VGU got the first two dragons, they actually can do that for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is actually the strongest engage tool for the side of PGA here? It's probably the Thresh or the Viego, right? But even then, they're not the strongest proactive engage tools. At least on the side of VG, you have the Ichirat on that Nautilus. You have Jax jumping in with the Counter-Strike, able to try and make something happen. You have the Lee Sin possible insect, or just the general strong engage into that team, but you don't really have that on the side of PJ, which makes it very, very hard to profit off of this advantage state, as you were saying. Now, they could try and force something around Baron, and quite frankly, I'm a little surprised they haven't, because it's best for PJ to have the other team collapse on them, because then you can start putting, you know, the tempo in your favor. You start having, like, that advantage. You want them to move into you rather than you move into them. Maybe force them to step forward. Malzahar catches them out, but they've not really forced anything, and it's a little confusing. I guess it's maybe just kind of a communication thing. Both teams kind of struggling, as you can say, like not quite optimizing macro. So many just split push, but nothing's really happening. It kind of feels like a stalemate at this point. Who's going to make the first act? The Hex Charge? Never mind. The hook goes wide.
VGU is definitely trying to make the first plays, but Ichirat is going a bit wide. I mean, you could even say that Butter Nubs on this Jin could just start a fight with his curtain call, as Terry's going aggressive on Severe. He's going to actually burn the Flash, so Severe feels like he can't take this. Flash is under tower from Wild Terry, looking for the solo kill, but that oh man, I forgot. The smoke screen, I believe, from Graves meant that Wild Terry couldn't actually jump back on Severe, and a huge outplay from the top lane there is going to immediately push PGA to go for this Baron and pressure, you know, getting this Baron and snowballing the game.
Absolutely, that is VG's strongest team fight tool down now. You no longer have that big pressing threat with the Jax anymore, and that's basically a free
Are they
maybe is what
flipping
they were
this?
waiting for.
Zohair could steal this if they're flipping this. It's going down to 3k. The TP is alive from 0, but he's not TPing in. He's just running in down to 2k. VG has vision on this. Zohair wants to get over the wall. This is just a pure flip as pure as it gets, and Zohair gets it. The steal coming out from Zohair. The other fight's breaking out. Ichirat's in there, but I think Ichirat just sacrificing his life as VGU runs away with the Baron steal. They have the heist, hashtag 100 thieves. And in trade, PGA is going to walk away embarrassed and get the dragon for themselves, which in the end isn't too bad regardless, because now they'll be on soul point. But VGU feeling themselves a little bit. Nice play by Zohair.
I'm very, very impressed. Zohair really made something happen. I was worried with Zohair. His main problem I had with him last game isn't that he performed any particular bad way, but he just wasn't being that playmaker. And right there, that is what he needed to be, that strong playmaker. And being able to steal that has given some tempo back. Look, being able to catch up that gold lead, that is now reduced to only about 3k. That is very, very good. It was much wider before that Baron was taken. You now have that side lane pressure. Well, obviously, Jax didn't get the Baron buff, which is unfortunate, because that would have made you an even stronger side lane pressure. You now have to force PGA to kind of play around your tempo. You flip the switch, basically. Really, really, really good Baron steal.
Yeah, I mean, look at Zeri now, too. Arch has that QSS, so it's going to be really hard for Dragon Slayer to actually lock him down. While Terry, you know, I feel like he might consider QSS as well if he wants to take these team fights, but if he's content side laning, he doesn't need it, and now mid lane is going to start getting cracked by VGU, and this is what they need to start pushing their tempo, pushing this lead. Getting this mid lane open and being able to push into the jungle of PGA is going to open them up for some more proactive plays, being able to get these picks, and, you know, you feel like for the first time, PGA is on a bit of a back foot now, and we're going to have to see if VGU can take this tempo and really snowball it into a victory.
No, I wonder if VGU is going to try pathing bot lane here and trying to crack open as many lanes as possible. So the vision lines you get here in jungle are based on what towers you have up. You generally want to go from the tower that you have up to the closest tower that you have up on another lane. So being able to crack all of these tier 1 towers down means that you reduce the vision line for the enemy team down to these areas, trying to match what you have or what they have on you, because obviously you're missing so many towers here. And as expected, they move into the jungle, they force that tower to be taken, and now they have a stronger vision line here. They can't really PGA can't really step into their own jungle anymore. It's not safe for them. Look at how deep they are. Look at how much vision control they have. Are they going to get picked off by Ichirat? You never know. And that's why that was really smart to, instead of keep sieging mid, try and take that jungle control so that Wild Terry is guaranteed to get that tower.
Yeah, I mean, VG is just looking to force a fight right now. They're looking for the picks. And if you're PGA, you're not worried. You are not forced. You do not need to force a fight. You do not need to fight for your own vision. You're still in a great spot. Your Graves is still massive. He's 1, 3, and 2, but he has a massive bounty. He has so much farm. He's 3 items. You scale just fine. You know, your fight is at this dragon in 2.5 minutes. That's where you make your stand. You take the fight. You win the fight. You get soul, which, you know, just accelerates your gold lead by maybe 2,000 to 3,000 passively. You maybe even get Baron right after that too. There's no reason for them to fall into Unity's hand right now, and Unity, it really just needs to find a way to take this tempo, set up a Dragon Vision, and make PGA walk into them. I have to imagine both teams are just the same comms. We're playing for this Dragon fight.
Absolutely. It's that timer. It's ticking down, as you said, and both teams don't want to start getting vision yet, but they're going to start needing to move in about 30 seconds, trying to secure as much as they can, seeing where they're all positioned, but it's just not safe for either team. That Baron buff has worn off now, and they are basically on even footing, only not even a 2k gold lead. Or actually, yeah, never mind. It's just under a 2k gold lead. So it's just the margin of difference has been narrowed, but Ichirat is going to get picked out again, maybe? No, able to get away with the Q onto the wall, buffered, mitigating the CC there. Was worried because you don't really want anyone getting picked off right now, whilst, okay, you still have about 1 minute 30 up to the next Drake. You are still in a pretty bad spot if someone gets picked off, because it means that now they have full vision control. They can move in. You can't contest them. And even if Ichirat is only a support, at the end of the day, the amount of CC and damage reduction he applies to this Glacial is enough to be important in these fights, being able to stop Snow2 jumping on to your carries, being able to mitigate these problems, having the locket to be able to protect your team, having just a full team comp pressure, having the vision control pressure. Obviously, he's got the wards down. It's important. So it's important that every single member of VG stays alive here. They have to take this fight as 5, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Obviously, Terry's going to try and match the side lane, but
neither of them want to fight right now. I mean, I am like nervous right now for both teams. Just, I feel the tension building that there's just gonna be something explode now. Quick check on items. We do see Snow 2 with that such valuable stopwatch for this fight, and there's no stopwatches on the side of VGU, so they're gonna not be able to have that one valuable resource, that one-time use that could win the entire game for them. As here comes the macro play coming out from PGA. They're pushing down the mid lane, getting that mid prio, while VG Unity is still stuck, you know, doing the Baron. You know, PGA doesn't need this dragon necessarily. They can go straight for the Baron instead. It's not soul for VG Unity, so if PGA really doesn't want to try to contest this vision, they could force VGU to try to match them towards the Baron side. Granted, Baron won't spawn for 30 seconds until after Dragon, so it is not the best play. And here comes the fake check. The engage from Ichiran. Remember, the stopwatch is still on there, and there it comes out, but a huge scatter of the week from Quality Player. Now it looks like Snow 2 is getting out there. Dragon Slayer is going to go down. Ichiran down to 1 HP is going to go down eventually to the Burn, but here is Arch and Wild Terry going forward. Butternut's going down a little bit low, but the re-engage coming out from Severe is too scary. But Quality Player takes out Snow 2. Was that Scorch?
I think that was Scorch.
Oh my god, what a play from VG Unity. I can't believe after PGA pushed down, maybe they decided to face check where they know Unity is right there. And right like that, Unity is back in the game.
My goodness, I'm so impressed. They played exactly as how they needed to. That push wasn't matched properly. I get what they were trying to do, trying to force them here, but they've just given up so much. Really good pick from Ichirat. Dragon Slayer ulting onto the Nautilus here. Snow 2's stopwatch not really being that effective, keeping him alive for a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, it's not to his tempo. Forced to stopwatch to try and live for as long as possible, but at the end of the day, when you've got no resets on the Viego, it makes the game harder, and your only kill was the one that ticked down from Ichirat, who is miles away. You can't really profit off that, and that is the Baron buff going down onto the side of VGU.
Yeah, VG, I mean, yeah, it's just such a great play. They had the death wish. PGA just got impatient, and you feel like the comms just kind of dissipated for a second, and they walked in somewhere they know they shouldn't have. They're going to look back and say, you know, that was really dumb. And VG, you know, okay, they had a gold lead for about 2 seconds there. I was going to say they have the gold lead for the first time in a long time. They don't have any more. But with this Baron, they should be able to get that gold lead, and regardless, this game is dead even. And, you know, I have to say, I like VG on the team fights here. This Zeri is absolutely unleashed. Syndra has that Rabadons and outranges this Malzahar. It's really just to make sure that Zohair and Ichirat are able to get in and make some plays, and Wild Terry is able to either split push and annihilate the backline.
The farm lead as well coming in from the side of Graves means that, like, I feel like Wild Terry's not done anything with the massive lead he managed to get early, and whilst that's not entirely on him, because...
Oh, Zohair going for the kick onto Snow 2, but Ichirat misses the hook. Zohair is going to get out with his life just barely. Death Stance actually is going to take him down. He dies to his own Death Stance. That's a shutdown. Going over to Butternuts. Now Terry's taking down Severe in the bot lane, going for the 1v1, goes for the Terror Dive, is going to back up, and now the ultimate coming down onto Ichirat. He is going to go down, but here is Arch looking for the play, but the hook comes down. B-Kip hits the hook. Arch has to flash away, and there goes Butternubs taking down Arch. Butternubs living with barely 1 HP. What a hook. What a play from B-Kip to save his team potentially the game, as Arch was looking for the highlight reel play, and VG Unity is stopped in their tracks.
Oh, I feel so bad for Zohair right now. Almost perfect, but kicks the Viego over the wall. The Nautilus hook expects him to go directly in front of him. Can't hook him over that wall. Unable to follow up. Heartbreaker's away. He's so deep in. He has to burn everything, but the Death Stance ends up getting him killed. Silver Mid Dawn isn't going to be able to cleanse anything away from there. Unable to get the kill to actually reset his Death Stance. I think that's why he went so deep. He expected to be able to get that Viego kill. Expected to be able to reset his tick down Death Stance. But unfortunately for him... PGA just played it perfectly. They played it so well. And the hook from Bakip at the end, Zeri overcharges, looking to make that huge play, but alas.
Quality Player looking for the pick onto Burp, Big, but he gets hooked himself. That's going to be the trade kill onto B-Kip, so he takes out 1 for his own life, but that is a shutdown and some more gold going on to Jin. That's not the target you want, and Quality, your life is more valuable than B-Kip there. A big misplay and a nice play from B-Kip to actually get the hook off to make sure his team secures the kills. Now the push going to come down on mid from PGA. No big spawns up yet. We have Dragon spawning in the mid 30, and that is soul for both teams, so the tension is back. Both teams are looking as Snow looking to maybe be aggressive on Arch here. You do have Severe pushing in the bot lane.
Graves is shoving.
But Terry's pushing in the top lane at the same time. It's just a base race at this point. But VG is closer to the tower than PGA here. So PGA is going to be forced to reset. And I mean, dragon spawning in a minute.
Terry-
Oh no,
Terry's
Snowdew gets caught
overstaying.
out. Snowdew gets stopped. He was on a ward. What a play by Arch to stop that. The kick comes through. Snowdew's gonna die. He's gonna be up right when 20 seconds before dragon spawns. But this should be VGU being able to get vision, gonna be able to secure soul and potentially take a fight or win the game off that. What a huge pick.
Oh, it was a mistake to assume that they didn't have vision that deep in, especially since he has the sweeper. It wasn't on cooldown. He was able to sweep the area, being able to stay there that long without sweeping, and expecting them to have vision in their own jungle when they know that you've taken that hit deep. It's just silly. That's a silly misplay from Snow2, and it's something I don't really expect from someone who's been playing this well throughout the game. He's made quite a few misplays that have caused him to throw these massive leads, and whilst, yes, he managed to get all these really strong early trades, I feel like he's not done anything, like, that impactful. Like, I feel like it's been the rest of his team making these big plays. Thresh getting these massive hooks, Malzahar locking down Ichirat every time, giving that kind of snowball. Viego is taking these leads from his team and running with them, but he's not making the play himself, and he's making silly decisions that are costing big leads.
Yeah, VG now looking for the play. There is 5 here for the side of PGA, whereas Wild Terry's in the top lane pushing, looking for that inhibitor. Severe is trailing the recall now, so if VG wants to take a fight, this is the angle. If Severe recalls, so Wild Terry can TP in. He has a flank ward right behind them in that bush over the pit. Here comes the fight. Zoe here does not secure the dragon. It goes over the Snow2, immediately gets rooted up, and now Arch is going for the play. Snow2 is going to take down Zoe here and get the reset. Ichirat is in the front line doing what he can. It's just quality play, and Arch lets us. Terry did not TP in. Why is Terry not here? Terry is not TPing. Quality player is going to go down along with Arch, and that's going to be Snow2 cleaning them all up. Terry, where are you? That is going to be a triple kill going over to Snow2, and the entirety of VGU is wiped as PGA is going to look to end the game.
Now, I know people say that top lane is an island, but oh my god. Dude, hit your teleport. It's unleashed for a reason, brother. That was a bit of a throw. I understand what he was trying to do, trying to match that Graves, but your team needed you. You're not in a position to be able to be giving this away, and it's just so unfortunate they've been able to, like, take these leads. It's sad. It's really sad because there was such a really strong comeback here from VG. It looked so good, but at the end of the day, PGA has just been playing better from the start, and it is so unlucky for the side of VG. A valiant effort towards the end, but that's going to be game for the side of PGA.
Wild Terry looking for the 1v5 at the end there. That signature late game Jax, but is not able to find it. PGA, GG, well played. 2-0 on the series. They take down the dub for tonight and move to 1-2 on the season, whereas VG Uni drops to 1-2 themselves. So both teams tied in the standings. Both teams looking to continue on the rise. PGA going to look to build off this momentum and continue their season, and Unity going to look to bounce back next week, because I think both games were played pretty excitingly by both teams. I wouldn't say either game was played specifically well, but they were entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was I'm not going to say clown fiesta, but there was some light entertainment there that I didn't expect to see from these players. Those drafts in these past couple of games have been really interesting, and whilst VG wins these drafts on paper, or you'd expect it to win with these kind of picks, I feel at the end of the day, PGA knew what they were doing with what they were drafting, and whilst it seemed a little bit wacky to us, they ran with it. They clearly knew what their overall plan was, and I think their overall communication was probably better over time. And it's disappointing for the side of VGU. They had something to prove here. They wanted to try and push forward and prove okay, we know that we can make it here. We're gonna take this to our 2-1. Obviously, PGA going 0-2 before this game, not expected to be the ones going in to win this after this, the underdogs here, so it's crazy to see kind of these big plays coming through from PGA. They really got their stuff together for these games.
Yeah, I think the highlight of the series too is the comeback of Snow2, being gone for the first 2 weeks, coming back, playing jungle well in both of those games. In game 1, that Karthus was devastating. In game 2, he had a 2,000 gold lead at 11-12 minutes on Zohair from taking those top 2 towers. So my MVP is definitely going to be Snow2 for this series, taking the team by the hands and bringing them up to their first win. For VG Unity, I think they played fine. I think there's a lot of small things to improve on that will bring them to the next level, and that's kind of what it is at this higher level. Every player can improve on their own, but you really have to come together as a team and start making these decisions and, get a cohesive draft, get those scrims in, and get that gel going. These guys have been playing together for a while, so they know what they need to do and know how to improve on. But Mac, do you have any final words before we cut off for the night?
I think VGU has so much potential, and I think they just need to work on their synergy. Whilst they are clearly comfortable with each other, Snow 2 proved that they were able to be cracked open, and whilst they clearly had this game plan, they need to work on their overall communication, not stepping forward so much, trying to take these odd fights. Again, as you said, I think Snow 2 played excellently. I think Dragon Slayer shouldn't be understated, though. I think his kind of safe play in that game 2 and the aggressive Tryndamere pick game 1 was the kind of 1v9. I know we don't really talk about it, but that Tryndamere pick in that game 1 caused so much of like a fracture on the side of VGU, getting these early kills on Corki, being able to try and secure Snow 2 a lot of these early gold leads, being able to just get people low enough that you can just snap the Requiem down at the end and finish them off. So I feel like even though he did miss one of his ults, it happens. Most Tryndamere players do it at least once a game. Dragon Slayer, I think, played really, really well this series of games, and I don't think his contribution should be underestimated.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of PGA played super well, and all your points are super valid. But they were super fun games to cast. Mac, thank you so much for being with me today and taking some time out of your day to catch a banger of a series. I know it's super late by you, but thank you all the viewers as well for tuning in. We had a nice 20 plus viewer day. Awesome to see. Thank you guys for hanging out and the interaction in chat. Make sure to follow our Twitch, Virtue Gaming Live, if you enjoyed our content. We have plenty more streams coming for you. Follow our Twitter at Virtue Gaming GG. I think we have 4 more streams this week. We have my team, Virtue Gaming Ambition, tomorrow at 7:30 on the same channel. We also have Virtue Gaming Ambition again on Friday, 8 p.m. Then on Saturday and Sunday, we have Virtue Gaming Great in Runeterra Academy Junior at 8 p.m. each, looking to go 2 and 3-0 in their league respectively. So make sure you follow our Twitter, follow our Twitch, and stay up to date with all things VG. But until then, it's been Number 2 Ginger with the Mac. Gonna call it for the night. Thank you, everyone, and see you soon.
Thank you for having me.